Hi everyone, today we're going to be doing Basketball Wives Season 3 Finale Part 2. We're going to start with Tammy and Mika. They are continuing on with their fight from the last episode. And Tammy, she just came for Mika. Tammy was like, you always going on all these different interviews all around the country talking about me. I don't talk about you. She's like, well, you was just tweeting about me. She's like, no, I retweeted. This is a social network. I retweeted what somebody else said. And, she's like, what you been saying about me? And Tam was like, oh, well, this, dodged in the answer like dodging the question like always and not giving a straightforward answer. And Tammy just came for her when she, Mika said, you're supposed to be a mother. Tam's like, I am a mother. She's like, that's one thing, you need to keep my kids' name out your mouth. She may not have said that, but I'm paraphrasing. And, Tammy said, hey, your husband didn't nobody know nothing about your husband. He's only famous because of you now. That's where everybody got to know him from. He lucked out and made on a basketball team that happened to win a championship. I think that's what she said. And that's how he got his fame. She was like, well, other people, he was playing basketball. She was like, hey, shoot, the people who was injured still got paid good because of the team won. Your husband just lucked out on getting on the team that won. And Mika's looking like, nah, my husband, he plays basketball, he does this. And it was like, you always lying. And Shani, she spoke up this episode, what little it was. She's like, well, Mika's stuff was just a cluster of lies that she couldn't get herself out of, even though she tried her hardest. And she was like, I'm not lying, and you was calling them fake, and I could tell my daughter right here, she's like, is this real money, mommy? No, that's fake money, mommy. And Tam was like, what in the world are you talking about? We ain't saying nothing about your child, about no money, about nobody being fake. See, you died in the situation again. One point Susie puts her 2 cents in, and she was like, Mika, everybody say I talk a lot, but she's like, my thing is, when you were talking about my friend, I thought it was my, duty as a friend to be like, hey, Tammy, Mika was talking about you. She said this. And Susie good and doggone well, if she hadn't said nothing, and Tammy had found out, she probably would have got popped in the face. So Mika, Susie was like, yeah, I told to clear my name up. Then Royce and Jen got into it, and it's all about that whole Royce meeting up with Jennifer's soon-to-be ex-husband. And Royce was like, basically, I was going to come to you, and Susie, I said I was going to come talk to Jennifer out of respect, but she didn't want to see me, so it is what it is. And Jen was like, you, even before we started filming, you was texting her. She was like, Eric congratulated me on my book, and I said thank you. That was it. It wasn't no long drawn out. I was being polite to say thank you when somebody did this. She was like, oh, he ain't no producer, he ain't no Spielberg. What he gonna do? Jennifer was like, the only reason Eric came to you and Susie because he knew I wasn't really friends with y'all. I was just friends with the people over there. And then she caught herself and remembered that Susie was on the other side. She's like, oh, Eric must have thought me and Susie wasn't talking before, so that's why he came to her. No, you and Susie not cool like that. You slip of the tongue and you caught yourself. And Royce was like, oh my goodness, why don't you just think for yourself? And when she said that, I'm assuming that she's talking about the Evelyn. Basically, she has to run everything through Evelyn when she does everything. And it kind of does seem like it. What else happened? Yeah, like a little clips that they didn't show on air. They showed Tammy at like an organization she's affiliated with where like girls between I think 13 and 18, they come and do poetry. And one girl, she wanted to go to college, but she didn't have the money to do it. So Tammy came to Shani and was like, hey Shani, I want to help this girl out. Will you match what I'm giving? And Shani was like, yeah. And Tammy was like, I might not have much, but I do want to lend a helping hand out. And I was like, that's good. They should have showed that on the show instead of all that arguing, fussing, and fighting. But I guess all the fighting, fussing, all that stuff, boosts up ratings. they showed, you know, Evelyn back in her hometown, I guess, unseen stuff, her and her daughter walking through the Bronx. I believe that's where she's from. It's either the Bronx or Brooklyn. I'm wanting to say the Bronx. And she's like, oh, I smell the pizza and the fried chicken. And she seemed really at home. Then they asked about her and her relationship with Chad Ochocinco. And when she was talking, it was like, I don't want to go through this answering these questions, so let's just hurry it up and just move on to somebody else. Because she was saying, yeah, because I guess last year, Royce did not think that Evelyn and Chad's relationship was going to last. She thought it was just publicity or whatever. And, you know, they've been together a year. They didn't, you know, got his sperm frozen. I guess her eggs frozen. So when it's the right time for them to have them twin boys, they wait and then just ready to be put into her uterus, I guess. But the whole time she's talking, she's just like, she's got that smile on her face, but she doesn't have that, oh, I'm so happy smile. It's like things aren't going to right, or we're not together and I'm just faking the funk. That's what I was thinking when she's saying how she's too busy right now to get pregnant. She's too busy right now to think about a wedding. But, oh, they're so happy and in love and everything. But maybe just me, but she looked uncomfortable talking about him. I could be wrong. That's just what the vibe I got from her. Let's see what else happened. It was like the first, I want to say 15 minutes, it was Tammy and Mika going back and forth. You know, Tammy telling Mika basically, you know, I don't like you, you don't like me, that's cool. And, you know, at one point, Mika was like, you know, I don't have nothing to do with Tammy. And Tammy like, whoop-de-doo, I'm so, oh Lord, I'm so sad, please help me. But, you know, my thing is, Mika wouldn't, you know, be on everybody's bad side if she wasn't lying, and then lying about lying. It's always, I don't remember saying that, how did that come out? When you going back to different people in that circle and telling them stuff, it's going to get back to one of the people you're talking about. So I don't know where she thought that was going to help her out at. Hey. You know, the whole Mika and Tammy, they fought, and Tammy, she just like was cutting her to the bone, saying how your husband wasn't nobody, you made him because you on this show, and how he was a nobody and he lucked out, got that golden ticket from the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and got on a good team who happened to win the championship. And when she said that, I was like, oh, Tammy, did you have to go there? And, you know, John Sauer was like, oh, you know the stats? She's like, yeah, I know all this. You know, I lived this for 5 years, you know. You know, her and her husband were together 5 years, so she knows all that. And yet, I don't think Mika said, nah, she said, oh, my husband played, but as far as him lucking out onto a good team, she ain't had nothing to say about that. Anybody can just hop on the court and play with their team. Other players could be tired. You don't know. Well, I am looking forward to seeing the Basketball Wives LA, because it looks like it's going to be some drama on there. So when that comes on, I will be reviewing that as well. I hope you guys like this review. If I missed anything out on this video, just drop it in a comment below or do a video response. I want to thank all my subscribers and the people who watch my videos. I would like you to thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and tell a friend. This is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.